sports, whatever it's been a while. Like I said, I've talked to you about you guys 2 or 3 times a week, but never met you. Like I said, never met you. So, but this is good. Getting back here, this is a good start. We're all moving in the right directions. Athletics is moving in the right directions. Hey, football's doing, it's good. You have a big crowd show up like you did. Indiana got a big game this weekend. They've got a really good team. Forget records sometimes. Everybody gets caught up in records. You better get caught up in who you play. Got a good team. And we have a really, really good team and an exciting team. So I know it's a big one for them this weekend. Soccer's doing great. Volleyball's doing what they always do. So it's a good time at Western. Western's doing a lot of positive things. And it's good when you can have athletics create some excitement for everybody. Everybody's excited to get back out in these stands and these fields, and we want to be excited to get back in Diddle, because that was a different adjustment last year. We used to play in front of a full crowd, so we're all heading in the right direction there. So that's really good. We started 2-a-days last Monday, so we're in our I think it's about 13th practice since last Monday. As you can tell by my voice a little bit, but it's good. We got a lot of new pieces, as you guys well know. I like my pieces. We just got to put our pieces together, but we've made progress. We've made progress these few days we had. We got miles and miles to go. But again, early in your practices, you're just trying to establish how you're going to do things. The effort and attitude you play with, that's your foundation always. Sometimes it's even more difficult when you get more older, experienced guys, especially those guys who haven't been in your program a little bit. That's even more of a challenge. But in the day, we have good people. We're making progress with that every day.
Coach, last summer was obviously different. A lot of things shut down. You said you watched some Netflix. I guess this summer, what was it like for you?
Well, no Netflix, I can promise you. It's called The Portal now. That's what I watched all this spring, was The Portal. Last spring, it was Netflix for the first time in my life. For you guys who wasn't around, I never watched Netflix. Just where it is. Never watched it. And basically just sitting around, nothing to do, couldn't go anywhere, and you have young children, or you have boys, that's what they grow up doing, I guess. I didn't know that. But it was good. There were some good shows that we've talked about in the past. Remember those shows, Jared, we talked about when we were there?
Yeah, you need to get caught up on Outer Banks. They came out with a season 2.
Long story short, since you said that, my son did put one of those episodes on. I never could slow down to watch it, but I do remember that. How about my one that made the blue cocaine? Is there a new episode there?
Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Breaking Bad.
Yeah, that's been over for a while.
No new episodes. That was one of my favorites. Zach, you like that one too now. So, but it was good. But what I have learned through Netflix, my wife and children, they find these documentaries now. They had me sit down and watch them. They made me sit down and watch one about 8 weeks ago. It's about eating meat. If you sit down and watch it, you would not eat meat. I wish I hadn't sat down and watched it. You guys ever watch that? Don't watch it. Do not watch it. So, but Jared, back to your question. This spring, as you guys well know, our life has changed. Our world has changed. It's not like it used to be at all. It's not the way of recruiting that I've ever really had to deal with. But it's the change of times. It's what it is. You got to adjust to it. In the past, recruiting has always been something that you start recruiting kids at a young age, build relationships, and get them in here maybe as freshmen. Some of them more ready to play than others. Time they're sophomores and juniors, seniors, and become real players. Those players are limited now. You're not going to spend a lot of time on developing young guys. It's just that's where our world is. And just not us, every program. I'm talking about the elite of the elite is in that portal. And that's what's changed even more so. It used to be the grad transfer was one thing, where the elite really didn't mess with the grad transfers much. But now, everybody messes with the grad transfer. And with the portal, everybody goes into the portal. It's easy to sit there now, watch a kid on film for a team and just call it, versus going and trying to recruit him. And now, when there's a good player goes in the portal, so they have 5 or 10 people recruiting him, you got 50 people recruiting him. And this year was more challenging for us because kids couldn't visit. You know, on the rules moving forward, they go into the portal, you can bring them to your campus, you get to know them a little bit, find out a little bit more about them. And for us, we get them to our campus, we got a chance. We can sell ourselves with our facilities and, you know, and what we've done here. When you're trying to just do it on the phone, we get lumped in with a lot of people. And that was our challenge this past spring. You know, it hurt me in some areas. I know if I could have gotten a couple more kids to visit this campus, I'd separate myself. But again, that's kind of where it was. So a lot of these guys we got, I should have said a lot, all these guys we got. First time we really ever seen them in person, talked to them in person, they come to our campus. And you guys can know what a challenge that can be sometimes. Just not physically, you can see some things on film physically. Mentally, has some adjustments too. But it's where it was for the most part. I think we came out of it in pretty good shape. As I said earlier, I like our pieces. And I can start with our pieces. You know, we got 4 kids out of transfer portal. We got started with Jarius Hamilton from Maryland, 6'8" kid that we think can shoot the basketball. Has 2 years left, and you know, played 5 and some 4 at Maryland, but made 35 threes and 42%. I like the progress he's made. He was hurt in July some, but getting back in shape. Jalen Butts from DePaul, averaged 10 and 6 at DePaul, 10.6 rebounds, and you know, he's made strides from just getting his effort level where we want him to play at more. He's got a long way to go, but he's making progress. I like him as a person, has multiple skills, scored basketball a lot of ways around that paint. He's a very skilled guy. Keith, a young man from Cincinnati, very obvious, was a very good player at Cincinnati. 14 and a half a game, second team all-league player. Perimeter type of player, gives you some, brings some toughness, brings some real experience and real toughness. And I always call him dog. When everybody says you got a little dog, that's a compliment. He's got a little of that in him. Those are, Zach, keep me rolling here now. Portal guys, there's 3 portal guys.
Keith.
I just said Keith. That's the 3 portal guys. Then your transfers, we have Jamar Sharp, young man from Hopkinsville. Hadn't seen him basically. He went off that junior college. Some of you guys know or don't know, he's kind of a kid. We kind of got recruited, committed out of high school when he's in a warm-up line. Went off to junior college. We weren't able to see him. Once your season starts in October, you don't see him. Then COVID hit in March. They go another year and see him. When he walked back through our door, he always was big. I didn't know how big he was back in high school. We never measured him, but we measured him this time, and he literally measured in at 7'5". It's not 7'1" or 7'3", 7'5". Checked in here at 217 pounds. So y'all know where the progress has to be made there at. To his credit, he's made some progress. We got him up to 237. He's made progress there. And he's probably done a lot of things off the court, been able to adjust better than anticipated for a junior college guy. I like where he's headed. He's missed a few days of practice because of some injuries, but I like his upside a lot. Zion Harmon, a young guy. We all know Bowling Green, the last couple of years over at Madison, at Marshall County. Had some injuries over there, and COVID and all that. He's had a tough, last 2 years over there, and like a lot of young guys, there's always big adjustments for him. But to his credit, he's he's making adjustments, not on the court as much as all the little things off the court. You know, when you've been isolated by yourself for 18 months or so and not going to school and, having to be on time for a class, that's now all of a sudden you're showing up, there's breakfast, there's classes, there's study table and all that. That's adjustment in anybody's world. So he's getting better in all those areas, making baby steps every day with him. The kid we got this summer, young man, Sherman, kid out in Panola, we went down, he was in a top 40 JUCO camp in Florida. Played his first year in junior college. He was going back to junior college, and we went down, we were just recruiting for next year. Well, we talked to him, got to finding out around him a little bit. The kid had a chance to be a qualifier. Well, we checked into his grades. He ended up being a qualifier, which means he's eligible to come in right now. He has 4 years left. And he was I think he ended up making the MVP of that camp. Those better junior college players there. He hadn't been a disappointment. I love his foundation from a work ethic standpoint. He's in the gym too much, especially during two-a-days. We'll start at 6 in the morning, gets in there at 5 again, comes back there at nighttime. The things he does, you can't teach. He's got great energy, great work ethic. He shoots basketball. It's the game has slowed down for him. Like all young kids, they're just wide open. As the game slows down for him, he's going to be a terrific player because he's got all those other tangible things that it takes. That foundation, most of the time you have to try to set a little bit or modify a little bit. I haven't modified his work ethic at all. That's a good thing. Big old boy out of Texas, never saw him. Darius, wasn't wrong on him, what he can be. He's not what he is. And we knew he was going to be a project's not the right word, but a down the road type of guy. Down the road, you can't teach 6'11" and 300 when you get on down. He's coming on down, but he's got great hands, step out and make a shot. He's just getting his body right. But the things it takes to do that is he's got it inside of him. He's got great work ethic. He's just a down the road guy, but he's got a chance. We got another kid, Eli from Texas, that's got to continue to work, get better in a lot of areas. So, this ain't a normal year. We're going into practice. We're learning every day from our guys. I hadn't seen them, not just physically, but mentally. What can guys do mentally too now? We returned. We lost a lot of good players. I ain't got to tell you who we lost. You all know who it is, but I like some good pieces we got coming back. Y'all know how I felt about David Knight for a long time, and he doesn't do anything but keep solidifying how I believe about him even more. Luke Frampton, he's the one guy that that should have got any more shots last year. It was hard with our starting 3 perimeter guys. I think we made 44 threes between them. 44 threes between them. Every other team in the league had 2 players make 44 more. Now Luke made 55 for us, I think. But Luke, where he's at this year compared to last year, is no comparison. And we all know when he got here late last year, it was a huge adjustment for him, but he's done great. He's comfortable, he's playing well, he's shooting the ball extremely well, and turned in one of our leaders. Having Josh back, Josh gives us some more experience. Guys been around. So there's Dave and Luke and Josh, 3 guys who played meaningful minutes for us last year, those 3 guys. With all the new pieces and parts, it's all different, but I like my pieces and parts. I like them a lot. We just got to keep molding them. I got some versatility and some flexibility. I got a post guy who I think really scored. I got a post guy that nobody can score over him. So they're different guys at different times. And I think my perimeter shootings, well, it's got to be better. Y'all, as you well know, it's a grind. When you got to grind out games, not shooting great, and we found a way to grind them out. We grounded, but games a lot easier just to jump up and make a shot. And it affected Charles. It affected Carson. When there was space out there, wanting to really operate. As I said, I do like my pieces and I do like my parts. We're just work in progress right now. As you guys will know, we got a challenging schedule. I blame Zach for that. I mean, we've got, I don't know what else anybody else in the league does, but we do it every year. I don't know what the stats are around the league. Who else has won games around the league? How many par 5 games have been won? You guys will know in the last 4 years where we're 9-5 or 9-6 against par 5. I'd be curious to know what the rest of the league is, even if they got 9 between the whole league. We open up right off the bat. We get this opener on the 9th, you say? 9th. Then we go right off the bat, get Minnesota. Went out, we get South Carolina. Then we turn around and play a non-Power 5 team. It's going to be a top 10 team in the country. Who is that? Memphis, that's right. Top 10 team in the country. Then we've got home games against Louisville. You always know how they're always going to be good. We've got Ole Miss and a tournament in Atlanta, which is a great event. You're going to have basically 7 Power 5 teams and us in that Atlanta event. Leave anybody else out besides the other good quality games. Home game against Eastern, home games against Buffalo. You guys know about Buffalo, they're one of the better teams in the country. That's why only reason we're playing each other is one reason. We couldn't get nobody to play us, they couldn't get nobody to play them. That's just where it is. That's just being honest about it. That's what Zach got us, Buffalo. So at that game, look for Zach. But it is a great game, great team. Everybody back. So that'll be challenging too. Then we go into league play. As you all know, in the league play, it's we're in divisions again. I guess we play everybody in our division twice. Some people in the others division once. Best teams in the league. UAB went in the pool and bought. They got their best 4 guys back, and I think they brought in 7 or 9 guys out of that portal. Good players. They're good. Louisiana Tech got the big boy back. They're good. Marshall got the meat of that team back. North Texas lost some pieces. So those 3 or 4 teams I just said are probably the better teams. The league. Old Dominion's always good. Here's the deal with our league, as you guys well know. Our league is, first off, it's gotten really good from top to bottom. It's not like several years ago when the Florida Lake schools were bad or the Texas schools were bad. Any of those teams can beat you. But those top 4 or 5 teams in our league, they can beat anybody, anywhere on a given night. And it's kind of shown, just like North Texas last year, they finished 5th in the league. They go beat Purdue, who was 15th in the country in the first round. The problem with our league is, it don't matter what you do in the non-conference, how many teams you beat and what you do. You get into the league, that gets drawn down, your RPIs, and it puts you in a situation, you gotta win not 1, but 3 every time. It comes down to 1 free throw, 1 turnover. And again, most leagues, if you do good, and where we put ourselves in a situation that you get automatic bids. I was looking at, someone sent me a stat on some teams. If they only went to the tournament based on winning an SEC tournament, Tennessee wouldn't have been to the NCAA tournament in the last 1 time in the last 40 years. You might know that. Alabama wouldn't have been once in the last 21 years. Vanderbilt once in the last 69 years. Arkansas once in the last, I think it was 28 years. My point is, the league plays some good games, you just get in. But it is where our league is, it is where that situation is, and it's what it is right now. So, but I'll never let what happens during the regular season diminish on winning 1 game. Our guys found a way to win a conference championship last year. That shit ain't easy. It ain't easy. And it's done in a tough situation. Last year could have been a worse time to neutralize our talent. It got neutralized by 2 things: crowds, lack of crowds, I should say, lack of crowds, and second night. We lose 2 games in the league on the second night, it never would have happened. It never would have happened because our talent got neutralized. But it is what it is. Our guys deserve a lot of credit what they did, fight through, finding a way to win a championship. And again, our goals are the same every year, compete for championships. I think the last 4 years we've done it every year. We've been in a championship game. Zach sent me some stats, or somebody sent me some stats. In the last 4 years, no one's won more games overall than we have in the league. Excuse me, overall, 88 games. Those are shortened years too. 2 of those years are shortened. And we didn't have a conference tournament the year before last. And this past year, our non-conference record was shortened. So we missed out on about 8 games. We won 88 games. I think the next closest was 83 Louisiana Tech. No one's won more conference games than we have in the last 4 years. We won 49. As I said earlier, we won conference championship last year, and 9-5 or 6 against Power 5. 9-6 against Power 5. It comes down 3 straight. 3, really we've had, well, I look at 3 opportunities. My first year, it don't even matter. It don't even matter. We just lucky to put a team, enough seats on the bus. We've had 3 opportunities to be in a championship game. We've been in a championship game every year. You know, that 4th year, we wasn't able to play a championship tournament or nothing. So our guys have done it. We've done it consistently. That ain't never going to change. We'll always be one or 2, 3 teams compete for championships every year. I got to do a better job, making us make 1 more free throw, 1 less turnover. That's what a fine line of winning and losing is. It ain't 1 game, it's 3 games. It's 3 games. You got to win 3 of those games. That's a challenge. That bullseye's on us. That's what we want. We want them expectations. We want, when you roll in this gym, no matter who we play, you expect us to win, don't you? You do. That's changed it. When I talk about this schedule, even with the new team, you guys believe, hey, Western Kentucky's got a chance, don't you? You guys ain't been here long enough. Y'all don't know yet. You'll learn too. You're gonna believe that we got a chance, no matter who it is. As a coach, as a team, that's all you want is opportunity. You can win every game. We're not gonna win every game. It's just the way it is. We're gonna play a challenging schedule. You look what we did last year. How many teams going to Alabama win?
Just you last year.
That's it. That's it. They go win the whatever it is. We pick up a game late, which was a great game. We go to Houston. Houston ends up going to the Final 4. Into the second half, we're up 1. Playing without Luke out of COVID, which you guys knew at the time. We found out after the game, Charles had pneumonia. So we've been in a lot of big, meaningful games. Hey, the game that probably got less recognition than all of them. One of our biggest wins, I thought, Northern Howard. You were there.
That was when they were fully healthy.
Fully healthy, picked to win that Missouri Valley, and they were good. They ran and beat Memphis, who was what they were. West Virginia up on whatever it was, 12 in that second half. We had home games last year of any big magnitude. Rhode Island. So again, we're going to continue to play challenging schedule. Zach's done an unbelievable job. And you can ask him on the side how easy scheduling is. I'm not talking about I ain't talking about coming here, just getting a game. Like I said, I don't blame him. You know, that's I think that's respect. Take it as respect. How's that for an opening statement? Is that good? Questions done now? Shouldn't be no questions after that.
I have 1 question, Coach. So when you talk about everything that's happened with COVID, how difficult everything's been, you mentioned new days, new faces, tying in all of that, and then, obviously hearing how hoarse your voice is and how hard you guys have been working, all of that, how much of that is a reflection of how much maybe you guys have gotten stronger because of all the adversity that came with COVID and the new system with recruiting and everything?
Well, that's a good question. I think we can use a lot of reasons to make excuses not to be successful. I think a lot of the world does probably every day. Or you can find ways to be blessed with opportunities you have, fortunate to be able to just be here and do this, fortunate to be between these lines now, and getting guys to understand that we need to take advantage of that every day. And again, every everybody wants to be great. But what are you willing to do? How are you willing to work over and over and over? And none of us probably know. I mean, you young guys, y'all real young. How it affected you all, COVID? And our guys, it was totally against everything you preach as a coach. Teamwork, togetherness. We never had one team meeting last year to watch film except before a game. We never ate one meal together more than 15, 20 feet apart. All of our individual film was watched with the coach and the player. And here's a stat nobody knows. In February, and we did the best job, our administration and our players, they took it serious. To avoid COVID, best you can do it. COVID didn't really affect us until February. I had 19 days of practice in February. Here's the stat nobody knows. 14 of them was 4-on-0. 4 players at a time of our 19 practices. That's when we got hit in February. Started with one of my assistant coaches first, and back then it was like a bowling ball. It took them down. Contact tracing took them down. Our first player, was Luke. That was positive with it. We lost players and coaches and managers throughout all of it. But again, give our guys a lot of credit. They stayed together and found a way to win a championship. It's not easy. And to answer your question again, you should be excited. I mean, to think getting Diddle back the way it used to be, and you guys who have been here, you have been in Diddle in school, so you don't know this experience. These guys who've been here, this arena is as good as there is in America when it's packed. And the amount of energy it brings us, what it does for your team and your players, these guys understand that. That's why I'm saying last year, it was such a challenge, for our guys. Empty arenas are one thing, that back to back, ever beating somebody the first night. No one did affect how that affected us. It neutralized our talent, give everybody a little bit more of a chance.
In terms of practice, I know a lot of you guys probably trying to work it together, but I guess from the start of practice up until the start of the season, or whenever we see you again for media day, I guess what's kind of the focus with these guys?
What's the focus of these guys?
Yeah.
It's been so far, as I said earlier, Jared, just trying to set the culture where we practice. Energy, the pace, the speed, and then working out some little things with players that they've done. Some of them done it for 4 years. And you never had them before. So all of a sudden, I'm trying to maybe correct some things the guys done for 4 years. That's a lot harder than maybe a guy who's never done it. He's correcting a young guy. The old guy sometimes knows this way he's done it. So haven't figured out a little bit, but we've got a lot of progress in these days. I like the direction we're heading. Got a long way to go. I like the direction we're heading. Again, like I said earlier, I like our pieces. They're all different. They're new. We don't have time to bring pieces along. You got some pieces you may have 6 months. New pieces. Some of them you have more than that. But that's where our game is. It's going to be that way. There are going to be very few teams you come in and start as a freshman and end as a senior. That's what we've all been accustomed to. That's not what it is now. Just not from Western Kentucky. I still want these local Kentucky guys. I want everyone I can get that can help us win championships. I'll recruit those guys. But a marginal guy that may be away from here, I look at him and say, he's going to become a good player someday. It's not what he is, it's what he can become. Those kind of guys now, it's hard for them to be patient enough to wait. Our society's opened it up. It's made it easier for them to do what they want. Hey, it's all good. That's where we want. I don't think it's good for individuals. I think it's good to fight through some things. Because sometimes when you run from something, it's not working out. What are you running to? You have no clue. Most of the time it's worse. Easiest is never best. Easy decision is never the best decision. Hard decision to stay and fight through something and get better, that's a tough decision. But those are the kind of decisions that make you get better. I don't know, society, if we're teaching that as much as we need to teach that. Tyler, ask me a question. I think NASCAR, I ain't seen
You
you.
covered everything.
You got a shot? You got a shot?
Stop.
You got a shot?
Yeah, what's up?
Good.
How about keep your staff together for another year? All three assistant coaches, all
Everybody's back, everybody's good. Coach, you get all the coaches back, so it's always good. Yep. Coach Hennessy's back, everybody wanna ask questions, Hennessy here with Charles, Hennessy's back. He's back with it, there you go. I want to like question, Hennessy's back, everybody's back, yes, sir.
Coach, I mean, you said you were about 13 practices and 13 days in. How have you adjusted to?
I'm not about 7 days in, about 13
13
practices.
practices.
Yeah.
So, how are you adjusting to losing a leader and a player like Charles Bass?
Well, we lost. Here's what we lost. We lost a heck of a player, Charles Bass. It's very obvious. I think everybody's seen he signed his contract. Y'all seen that probably. That was a long debate. Yeah, just not a really good player. He's a terrific young man. Came a long way. But we lost some other good players with him. Hollingsworth, that fourth-year guy who makes practice runs easy. Those guys been through it. He lost a tough guy. Carson, just toughness. So when I rolled out last year, practices were different. When I rolled out the first day, everybody knew what was going on. That's a built-in toughness that's been developed through a couple of years. It was easy. You lose all that now. You know, your guys now are basically Davion, who's still a freshman. Luke's first year really stepping up. Josh is my guy with experience. And we all know Josh hadn't been one of those really talkers and loud guys. Davion, there's something we're trying to develop in him, and he's come a long way. It wasn't his role last year. Other guys were experienced guys, that was their role to talk. So he's adjusted there, and I think Luke's done a good job. We got a new kid or two that's really trying to step up, but it's all new. Trying to force some things out, some guys, get some other guys to do it that you hope can do it, you don't know can. You know, I'm trying to force it out of them, can they do it? Those are things we're trying to learn about them all. Is that your question?
Yeah.
I had a question over here. It's about Josh Anderson. Just how does it feel to have him back for a fifth year since he's been here the previous 4 years?
Well, when all this decision went down, as y'all all know, Josh took it really hard that championship game. Really hard. Cut his heart and soul out like he did a lot of it. But his credit, I'm proud for him for this. Easy for him to just roll off and run from a little of that. But he stood up. Coach, I want to come back. And I'm proud for him for this. Just not come back. He can make it his degree. He just needed 16 or 18 hours or so. And walk out here with his degree. That's a pretty big statement from where Josh started at. You'll remember he started off here behind, not eligible. Sit out in the first, 15, 16, 17 games probably, wherever he got eligible. But his credit, he's gotten better every year. I think we saw this late last year a little bit in the NIT, he made some threes. I think he's shooting the basketball much better. Making 17 last year. I think he'll be a lot better than that this year. I feel very comfortable with him when he releases the ball. I couldn't have said that 2 years ago. Hold it back in your head 2 years ago. Now I have confidence in him. It's going to show on his play. So we're excited to have Josh back. He's always been a great person, great mother, all that. Does he always work as hard as I want him to work? No. We've made progress, so we've made progress. I said, if we changed it, but we modified it. That's a good thing. Who else? Anybody else?
Anything else?
We need to do this. We'll figure out how to do this one day. I'll get with Zach. If you guys like to do it, we'll find out a day. I've always let you come to a practice, Ellen. We've done that Used to do it, it's been 2 years maybe.